Our next guest says it doesn't matter how much you weigh, but how you live. You can build a healthy lifestyle and feel better about your body no matter what size you are. Let's spend the next 15 minutes with Kelly Bliss, a nationally known plus-size fitness instructor, psychotherapist, and author. Her book, Don't Wait, Eat Healthy and Get Moving Now, is self-published. Kelly, welcome.
Well, hello, Steve. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you with us. Let's talk about what myths do you like to explode immediately when you talk to someone or within the book itself?
People oftentimes assume that you have to be at least a certain size before you can be fit or even begin to do many types of activities. What I like people to know is whatever size you are today is this place where you're going to start. And you can start today by moving, and you may need to use some creativity. But one of the myths is that, oh, I'm too large, or I'm too old, or I have too much arthritis to exercise. And what I want to tell people is, if they get the right support systems, get creative, and get the right tools, they can start moving, and their bodies are going to function better and heal faster if they start moving wherever they're starting from.
Kelly, let's talk about the support system. What are some of the key elements of that support system that can help someone make those additional steps that are needed to push them and prod them just enough to get it done?
Interestingly enough, most people think that you're going to find your support from your family. Oftentimes, I have found as a psychotherapist that family dynamics are so complicated that sometimes there's too much stuff going on for your family to be your primary support, that they may encourage you in ways that frustrate you. So I encourage people to get their support in places where they will find that people give them the freedom to work toward their health in the way they want to. And one of the places I have found that is tremendous is on the internet. There is an entire community of people of various sizes who are working toward health without focusing on flattening their stomach or body criticism, but instead focusing on health because their bodies, whatever size or shape, deserve to be taken care of.
You are one of the great comeback stories because I think it was 1991.
Yes.
You're in an accident, you suffer a head injury.
Yes.
Now you have to come back from that. What was the experience like? How did it change you?
It was an amazing thing. In 1991, I was in a car accident. I hit my head and suffered a head trauma. It caused me to have uncontrolled epileptic seizures, for which they put me on medication for 2 years, so I slept round the clock. Now, it wasn't a coma. I was awake a couple hours every day. During those hours, I vacillated between suicidal depression and a sense that I don't know how, I don't know why, but in some way there is something good that's going to come out of this. A phrase that began to form in my mind is, I don't know what all this pain is about, but all this pain ain't for nothing. There's something wonderful being born. And what I did was I began to use movement as part of my physical rehabilitation, while I also had to learn how to talk all over again and how to think all over again. My main drive was to be able to continue the work that I had been doing before the exercise when I was a psychotherapist and fitness professional. And I found through the wonders of technology that even though I still do have epilepsy, I can reach out to people in great numbers through the website, the book, and the videos. So it was an amazing experience to feel the despair and the hope at the same time, and to be driven forward by my compulsion to share with people, learn from them, and teach them what I've learned.
What was your support system like during that time?
I did not have a support system that was in the same town with me or present. What I have is a large extended family, and emotionally they were very helpful. Pretty much, I had a 13-year-old and 15-year-old kid, and they lost their adolescence to nurturing their mom. One of the things that we all learned from that is, you know, you take what you got and you move forward with that and do what you can to make your life better. And sometimes it even helps if one of your focuses is to help other people's lives be better. It fits into this whole plus-size living. Very often you see that people will feel if I'm this plus size or this large or this overweight, how could I possibly exercise? I can't hardly walk across the room.
Yeah.
What I try to encourage people to do is, whatever the obstacles are, just start today. Get creative. Start to employ some creative problem solving and see what one thing you can do today. And actually, my kids and I, out in this big house in the middle of the woods, one day at a time, got through, and each one day at a time made the best we could of it. And that's what I encourage people to do in general.
In fact, at the Miss Plus USA pageant,
Yes.
you're introduced, look out, Richard Simmons, here comes Kelly Bliss, and she's bigger than you are.
Yes, I thought that was an interesting play on words, because obviously I am bigger than most fitness professionals. I'm just over 5 feet tall, and nature has made it such that I weigh 200 pounds. I eat healthy, I walk between 10 and 20 miles a week, and I teach aerobics classes. I don't know of anything else constructive and healthy that I could do to try to get my body smaller. So it seemed like I had choices. I could do something destructive, and actually I did have an eating disorder, so I didn't want to go that route again. Or I could say, build confidence in the fact that I'm living the healthiest lifestyle I can today and accept the body that nature has given me.
If you have that thought process about yourself, that self-confidence, have you won half the battle at that point?
You know, Steve, I think you've really said it there. If you begin to have confidence and faith in your journey, and wherever you're at right now, whatever size you are, whatever's going on in your life, is the journey you're supposed to be on, and you build a sense of confidence that I'm going to work with that and take it one step at a time forward to the place I'm supposed to be. It's that confidence in the fact that you're going to continue your self-care, and kind of a sense of faith that your life is unfolding as it should. Yeah, those two things together can really get you through a lot.
And how much does this translate? Once someone is convinced that body-wise they're doing the right thing to live a healthy life, not the life that's on the cover of Cosmo, but a healthy life, how much do you think that then translates to other areas of their life?
Oh, I think that makes a lot of sense, that oftentimes people work in one area and build a system for feeling successful and appreciating their accomplishments. And if you can feel successful and appreciate your accomplishments in, for example, the actions of healthy living, then you might start to notice and appreciate your accomplishments as a business person, or as a parent, or as a community member. But there's something very tricky here, Steve. Our culture teaches us to measure your success by what's on the bathroom scale, or whether your abs are flat, your six-pack shows your waistline small. If you measure your success in these ways, you can become very frustrated, lose your confidence, and give up on your self-care. That's why I encourage people, measure your success by the actions in your life, because after all, think about it. Watching your weight, it's not an action.
Yeah.
It's an anxiety, it's a worry. But living healthy, drinking water, eating more fruits and vegetables, going for a walk, those are actions.
Okay, in your book, what are some of the common myths about eating, Kelly, that we have?
Most people think if they do a good enough job of watching what they eat and restraining themselves and being very cautious and very vigilant, that will help them lose weight and eat healthy. And the theory seems to make sense, but we find when we study human behavior and statistics that 90 to 97% of the time, this type of I can, I will, I must willpower just doesn't work. This cautious vigilance, otherwise known as dieting, is just the other side of the coin of binge eating. Everybody that I have treated in my private practice who is a binge eater, they all started with dieting. Everybody who I have treated who is an anorexic, they all started with dieting. So in particular, one of the myths is use enough willpower and you can live healthy. I tell people willpower is exhausting. But I know something that can keep people motivated. Enjoyment, pleasure, feeling good. So I encourage people to learn different ways that you can use this positive motivation of pleasure and enjoyment to help you make healthy choices. Here's a cool example, Steve. The first exercise I give people, interestingly enough, regardless of what their issues are with food, regardless of their weight, the exercise that I give people is savor your food. The idea is this. Oftentimes people who feel uncomfortable about their body, whatever size it is, feel unentitled to eat. And so what they do is they tune out and they eat without really noticing. You know those times when you're eating chips and all of a sudden you're at the bottom of the bag, you don't know how you got there?
Right.
Savor your food is a way to use eating that most people use as a tune-out mechanism. Instead, it's one of the things you use. Let's use it to tune in. Each bite, taste it thoroughly, experience it. And when the next bite isn't as delicious as the last, ask yourself a question. Why eat it?
Yeah.
This is the beginning of educated choices on eating based on what's happening internally, instead of based on willpower and some external expert telling you what to do. But it's also using the experience of eating to tune in and begin to unravel what's going on emotionally that contributes.
If you would like more information about Kelly Bliss, and we have for you Healthy Living Community, www.kellybliss.com. When they go to that website, what do they find?
They're going to find the biggest selection of fitness videos for people who have real obstacles to fitness. If you're large, have fibromyalgia, arthritis, chronic fatigue, there's a fitness video for you. If you're a marathon runner and you need a real gentle workout, there's a workout for you. If you want to increase your body acceptance and fitness at the same time, one of these 10 fitness videos is going to feel right. The next thing that they're going to find is an online newsletter where regularly they'll get all sorts of information. They, of course, can order the book, Don't Wait, and connect with other people interested in the same self-care.
Kelly, thank you so much. We appreciate the time you've given us. I'm Steve Jones. Thanks a lot for joining us on 15 Minutes.